Hi guys, Mike here. Hope all of you are doing well. Happy Friday. Wanted to shoot a quick video as promised regarding the stock market. My name is Michael Hernik. If you haven't heard of me, I have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel called The Financial Mechanic, where we talk about the stock market, business, finance, economy, money, and so on. So if you like my content, please share it. Please like, please comment. Would love to hear from you. So let's get into it. So what is going on with the stock market right now? So I've done a few videos regarding the stock market recently, and I wanted to shoot another update regarding, where are we in the landscape? So first of all, it is really important to comment that the stock market is hitting all-time highs. Oftentimes, the stock market is trading over its 200-day moving average, which is basically a nice fancy way of saying stocks are going up recently, and everyone is sort of suggesting, wow, there's a stock market bubble, what's going on? They keep going up. So let's kind of break this down a little bit. So I included as myself believe that the stock market is completely overvalued. However, that is not to say that it cannot continue going up. Now, no one has a crystal ball, and the timing of some type of pullback or correction is really impossible to predict. However, let's talk about what types of things could pull the market back, and maybe some of the indicators of maybe to suggest whether we are going to see a pullback anytime soon or not. So the big thing to remember is that we are still in a pandemic, and how does that impact the stock market and other financial markets? So first of all, as the vaccine rollout occurs, and as we start seeing more businesses open and other sort of recreational pieces open, whether it be travel and more restaurants, bars, and accommodations, etc. This is going to cause a few things. One, it's going to cause more jobs to be created, because now all of these businesses which were previously not open or operating at lower capacity, now they need staff to sort of fill the demand for all of these reopenings. So what's going to happen, and is slowly already happening, is job growth, as sort of in the short term or in the interim, is going to appear to look really, really good. Because remember, last year there was a lot of jobs lost because of the pandemic, but now as we start reopening, all of these jobs, not all of them, but a lot of them, are going to start coming back slowly. So what that's going to look like is, wow, look at all this job growth we have, and we've already seen strong numbers, especially in the US in the first few months of 2021. And we're likely to see some, blockbuster numbers come out with job growth, earnings growths, etc., and really good economic data to suggest that, hey, we're slowly moving out of this sort of quote-unquote pandemic, and things are slowly reopening. Now, the thing to remember is the fundamental piece about the economy is that we are still in an extremely weak economy, despite all of these, sort of positive job growth and earnings reports that are slowly coming out and will likely continue to come out over the next few months. So how do we interpret this, and how do we look at this? So when it comes to equities, yes, the stock market is completely overvalued on so many different levels. And we look at, the stock market to, GDP ratios, and market capitalization ratios, and earnings, and it's just crazy. There's so many different things to suggest that the stock market is overvalued. But with the strong economic data with respect to job growth, earnings growth over the next couple of months, as we start reopening past the pandemic, we are going to start seeing some extremely strong data coming out, which will likely cause more upward movement in the stock market. However, the thing to remember is that we are very, very close to some type of normal correction or pullback. The question is, when could this happen? And I alluded to this a month or two ago in a video that I shot, which is to suggest that the quarter 3, quarter 4, which is the back half of 2021, could see some extreme volatility. So just keep that in mind. So over the next month or two, it is very possible and likely we're going to still see some upward movement in the stock market, even though on so many matrices the stock market is completely overvalued. However, I would not bet on it, even though if you have a position in equities, just keep in mind that we are in an extremely volatile environment where although we're going to have strong growth and earnings numbers, at some point, once we start seeing the comparables to prior year, which is to suggest once the economy does slowly reopen and we're sort of at a position where, okay, things are reopened, now what, right? So we're kind of went from a full closure to a reopen, but what happens after that, right? When you start comparing to prior year figures and so on, it doesn't look like we have as much job growth or economic growth, and that's when the markets are going to start becoming extremely volatile. And in my opinion, this could happen in the back half of 2021, and certainly I'm preparing for that. So the big thing to remember is, if you're like me and you're sort of waiting for some type of pullback where you can start buying stocks and other things on sale, be patient. But I'm also saying that it is still likely that equities, with that stocks, the markets will likely still see some, not major, but some upward movement, because we're going to see some really good job growth and earnings growth numbers, even though we're in the midst of one of the worst economies possible. You still have the pandemic that's full in force. We still have a lot of closures, a lot of borders, and international travel is still closed. But the reality is, as businesses slowly start opening, that is going to appear that the economy is doing really well, even though fundamentally it's not. So anyway, I wanted to throw that out at you guys just to sort of give a quick update that, yeah, there is still likely some upward movement in the stock market, but in my opinion, back half of 2021 and may be extremely ugly in terms of a correction and downward pressure when we start comparing to prior year numbers, and when growth and on earnings and job growth basis is going to slow down, and it'll appear that the real economy will slowly start unveiling itself. And personally, I do have some exposure to stocks, but not much. And again, this is not investment advice. This is to educate you. So I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I personally don't have a lot in the stock market. I have a little bit just to capture some exposure. I'm sort of waiting to see what happens. I'm being patient because I know that fundamentally the stock market is overvalued. However, I will say this. There's been a number of you that have sort of asked me, Mike, can you shoot a video on how to invest in this type of environment, and maybe more importantly, how to prepare and how to take advantage of volatility rather than being taken advantage of. And so I sort of brainstormed and thought about this, and I have a few really good friends that are, that know a lot about investing. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to interview them sort of in a way where both of us can sort of share our thoughts on this. So if you like the idea of me interviewing, sort of others that are invested in the stock market and have different perspectives to share on how to prepare and how to sort of make money ultimately in the stock market, let me know if you like that idea. Comment below and let me know if you want to see that. If you like that idea, I will do an interview probably in the next couple of weeks and see how you guys like it. It's really here to just educate you and give you as much value as possible. So if you like the idea of me sort of interviewing others and getting some more perspectives on the markets and maybe some ideas on things like commodities and other things that you can look into for investments, let me know and I'll definitely do that. But I'm planning to do one in a couple of weeks and we'll see how it goes. So I got to first learn how to record a Zoom interview and how to sort of post it to YouTube. So I got to do some learning, but I am going to do that, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. But let me know down below. And here's another thing to let me know is, what questions do you want me to ask? What are you wanting to know? What are you, share your thoughts below. What do you want me to ask? What kind of questions are you hoping to get some answers to? Throw them down below and I'll try my best to sort of compile them and get you those answers. So again, hope you enjoyed this video. Press like, subscribe, throw some comments down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have a great weekend. Take care.